Okay, welcome to another episode on Obidati Family TV. This is the Obedient Women, and on this show, we talk about how women have been supporting the Obedient movement and how they've been campaigning for our principal, Mr. P2B. And I am not joined alone as I have.
My name is Prince Kachi, also known as P. Catch. You're welcome to the program today.
And I also have with me the beautiful.
Good morning or good afternoon. My name is Jessica Chime. Welcome to the show.
All right, thank you. Okay, on this show today, we have a very phenomenal guest. She is an obedient woman, and I would like her to introduce herself. This is Mrs. Nello Osuji. How are you doing, ma'am? Oh, okay. Welcome to the show. Did you unmute yourself?
Sorry. Sorry.
No problem. Can you come again?
All right. Yeah. Thank you for having me. I said I wish you guys, had told me ahead of time, so that I could have packaged myself
You
better,
look good the way
so
you
I
are,
could
though.
look as good as both of you. But yeah, thanks
Thanks for
for
the
having me.
compliments,
Yeah.
though. All right. So, before we came on air, you were telling us that you are an obedient woman and you are based in the UK. You're based in London, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, we were going to be asking you some questions from time to time. So, just feel free and answer us as transparently as possible. But you also be keeping some details so that we don't expose everything that we are doing to the opposition party, if you understand what I mean. Okay, first of all, you're in the UK. Do you belong to any support group over there?
I did, but then I just felt like it wasn't very effective. But I right now I basically work with the 1 million match
Okay.
crew. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, with Mark. Yeah, so I'm literally on there. Sometimes I co-host the space and all of. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, mainly.
All right. So you mentioned about co-hosting in space, and we know how the obedient movement, will I say, started on social media. So, first of all, what significant role do you think that the social media has actually played in this movement to help present our principle to the public? Because a lot of people have downplayed the importance of social media in this movement. So, can you enlighten us a little?
Yeah, obviously, social media drives the narrative right now in
Yeah.
Nigeria, in the country. I mean, people can like to try to downplay it, but then again, you can see the opposition. You can see how
Yeah.
much they are trying to come back. So, yeah, social media has really gone a long way. But the thing about social media, regardless of social media, the thing is, obedience, we believe so much, in the country. We believe in our principle, and, we believe in that we can get Nigeria back. And so when you're passionate about something, like I remember when we started, they said, oh, they're going to fizzle out soon. But you can't, when it comes to passion, you can't fizzle. It's not something that, you can turn off and turn on. If you're being paid, or if you're doing something from your heart, like I told you earlier, I said I eat, sleep, drink, wake up Peter Obi, because this is someone that, I actually believe in. Every time I listen to him speak, he ignites this hope for a better Nigeria in me. And yeah, I would literally put in everything that I can, my resources, my time. And yeah, so to see that he becomes the president comes February 23rd. And yeah, as for social media and the role, we've seen it happen. We get an issue. There's an issue on social media. We escalate it. The next day, traditional medias, they pick it up, And in fact, now, Arise TV, they've dedicated a segment to basically news from, social media. You see there was trending with audio play and all of that. So yeah, social media really, really drives the narrative. And also one other thing that really happened to, push the obedience movement beyond just 4 people tweeting in a room, like Oshomola said, is the 1 million match, 1 million man match that we did all over the country. And these matches were organized and, driven from social media. We took it from social media into, into the streets. Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah,
yes,
that's very correct. We can all see the role that social media has played, especially in this election, because for the opposition that were saying that were trying to downplay the importance of social media, we see them now trying to use that same social media for their own campaign. So it's very obvious. But would you say that the social media or the people on social media have been able to achieve the aim of reaching down to people at the grassroots level? Because at the end of the day, these are the people that are going to vote. So do you think that it has also influenced these people at the grassroots level?
Of course, I would say that it has. Like I said, I do belong to, the 1 million man match crew. And basically, we're there every day, Monday to Friday, between 9 and 3. And one thing that we do on that space is basically from your whatever local government you are in, that's on ground, call in, tell us what's happening, tell us how we can help. And you would be amazed. I mean, you think that people are working on social media, but you have even more people, working outside of social media. People call in from places that you've never heard before, and they tell you, oh, this is what is happening here. This is what I would like to do. I need you guys to send me materials. And of course, we have people on social media, people like me that are not on ground, but of course, we can support in whatever way that we can. So we all put in the money together. And, we help out the support groups, we help out, individuals that we know are ready and willing to work. Because that this movement is a people-driven movement. We're not relying on the LP. We're not relying on anybody. We told Peter Obi to run, that we are the structures. So we need to come in and come through for him when, when there are lapses, where there are.
Yeah, that's beautiful and honestly very commendable. I mean, Pikash would agree with me that, okay, first of all, we need to go back to the topic of today, which is the apathy of women in politics solved. We've seen in the past how women have not been this involved in politics, in campaigns. Not like they've not been involved. Women are the people that these politicians would go to when they want to get votes. But we've not seen active participation. We've not seen this kind of fire. We've not seen this kind of involvement, personal involvement, that is. So, of course, it is true. Then I would like to understand, I want to ask you, Pikash, what do you think from your own perspective as a man? It's important that we get everybody's perspective. Okay, what do you think it is about P2B that has really influenced women to partake in this election?
Okay, I'm not a woman.
From a man's perspective.
Yes, from a man's perspective. I wanted to talk to Mrs. Nelo about this, actually.
Okay.
But maybe I'll come to that later. Yes, people see hope in P2B, in his candidacy.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are convinced that he's going to bring a different thing to the table from what we've had before. Okay, we see in him the passion, the commitment,
yes,
the character, the antecedents. He has done this in Anambra State. So it's very possible. It's very believable now.
Yeah.
And it's easy to believe that he's going to do it on a larger scale. So people seem to believe him and trust him. So it's not just about the women. It's cut across all sexes and age group.
Yeah.
So it's just easy to believe P2B and go along with the campaign.
Okay.
Yeah, but I want to come to Nelo now.
Okay.
I want to ask, have you ever participated in any elections before now? Never. I expected that response. Okay, so that is why I said I was going to come to you with that question. Why is it now? Why now? Why are you coming on board now? Why are you interested? You just said that you're very involved in P2B. You eat, sleep, and breathe P2B. It's really scary though, but let's not look at it that way. But okay, so why? Why now?
Okay, I think I just caught on the vision. That's just it, when again, it all started from social media. We started getting videos of this man, the things that he has done in Anambra. I think it was his interview on, was it Brekete TV, that very first interview on Brekete TV. So I watched that one, and then I watched the one he did with Rufai, and then I watched the one on the platform, that's the popular platform one. And something about him, the message, the way he's able to break it down, that's the problems in the country, how he's been able to solve them using the example of the things that he did when he was in Anambra State. I mean, you could see that there is a correlation between where Nigeria is today and what happened in Anambra State as well. And personally, I'm from Anambra State, although when he was a governor, I wasn't that old enough to actually understand what was happening. But I do remember that there was a time when students weren't going to school in Anambra State, and then all of a sudden, education in Anambra State was like top tier. So we remember all of that. I remember when, you're going to university, because I went to Nsukka, you literally, before you get to school, you can spend like almost the whole day, on the road. But I know that there was a time, I don't know, can you guys hear me? I'm frozen. Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Please go on. We can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me. All right. Yeah. So, and then there was this time I was going back and the road was all clear, and you leave home, you can even get to Nsukka, because I also grew up in Lagos, so you go from Lagos to Nsukka, and that traffic in Onitsha, you could get to Onitsha early, but before you be getting to Nsukka, it would be like almost say 10 p.m. thereabout. You have to make arrangements for people that will come and pick you because of security and all of that. But you're now going back to school, and you're getting to Nsukka like before 5. And then later, that I was able to put 2 and 2 together now to understand that during this man's, governance, that he was able to, create all those multi-lanes that, cleared all those traffic that used to be there. And so many other things, like when they talk about how he eradicated insecurity in Anambra State. I mean, most of us know about the Bakassi era, Bakassi boys, and how, he had a zero tolerance to, kidnapping and insecurity and all of that, and restored, sanity to the state. So basically, when you listen to him talk about how he's going to approach the Nigerian situation, and, he always kind of takes it back to, his time in Anambra State. Because if we look at Nigeria today, a lot of the problems that we have in, I say, bureaucracy, the civil service, all this whole due process thing, you put in money into the system, it's being swallowed up. So you honestly need someone who's decisive, someone who's not scared to, upturn the system, which is exactly what he did in Anambra State. And I really see that, this is true in Nigeria. Yes, I caught on to the vision, and this is someone that, has done it in the past, and I know he can do it again in the future. So this is why I'm actually supporting him and his
Vice
running mate, Dati Baba Ahmed.
Okay. You've spoken very well about Peter Obi and his antecedents. Okay, but I want us to look away from this a little bit. Now, ordinarily, the youth, the women are not interested in politics and nation building and, leadership and the way things are actually run in this country. It had to take the emergence of Peter Obi, to regain that interest, to renew that interest in the young people and in the women, especially. Okay, so don't you think it is actually very important? Maybe we got into the race a little late, it's as if our eyes just opened, but is it not something that we should have been part of a long time before now? Probably if the women and the youth and, the young people were involved in politics before now, we wouldn't have gotten to the level of decadence that we are experiencing now. Okay. What do you think? What do you think about that?
I agree, and I also I think that to get people involved in something, they have to believe in it. So it's just as simple. If you don't believe in the candidacy, if you don't believe in the people that are out there, you're not going to get involved. It's not magic, or it's not like a special something. It's just that the young people and the women have found a candidate that they believe in, that when they listen to, they can see, what's the word? You can see, genuinity of purpose. They can see someone that would actually take them seriously. They can see someone who has done something in the past and who can do it again. So basically, I think we just haven't found a candidate that we believed in 2019. I didn't really care about the two candidates, that's Buhari and Atiku. As far as I was concerned, these two guys, they've been in the system. Buhari has done woefully the last 4 years. I can't vouch for Atiku, his corruption and all of that. His name's littered all over any corruption index in the country. Yeah. So I wasn't going to stick my neck out for someone like that, because you obviously know that it's still going to be the same old. And I believe that, young people and women, especially women, we can see through BS. So if we don't believe in it, we're not going to, run with it. It's just as simple as that.
Okay, Nano, I'm really curious about something. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, the fact that Peter Obi, let's just assume, or let's just say based on being positive, if he becomes the president of Nigeria, is it possible that, I know it's possible, but then I want to know your standpoint, people in the diaspora, do you think that a lot of you guys will come back to Nigeria?
Of course. It's not even just about coming back to Nigeria. A lot of people in diaspora would like to invest in Nigeria. Yeah, you'd like to come home, set up businesses. You would like, but right now, I feel like most times what we do right now is basically just send money to our parents, send money to our siblings. Is welfare right now, but we would like to, come and invest. There's so many people that have come from the diaspora to invest in the system, but you know what? The system will swallow your money. The system, by the time they will tax you here, tax you there, tax you there. In fact, you have so many loopholes, things that will not make your business work. Before you know anything, just like, this stress is not worth it. You will lock up and just manage your money where you are. Whatever you see, you take it. So these are some of the things that hopefully, Peter Obi's government would, put in place. And I'm happy that he has actually addressed it, because, when he was speaking at the Chatham House, he did say that, first of all, you create, a secure environment for the people, and then you give them practices that, would be conducive to grow their businesses, especially the fact that he's willing to tackle, the multiple taxation that is currently existing, and also, again, the bureaucracy, the due process, that we have right now. And also the power situation, because that is also like a real huge bottleneck for a lot of people. Yes. So hopefully he will be able to do all of that. Yes. And you would see that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Thank you very much for that. But the next question from me is what you think about the involvement of women in this particular election. I mean, as opposed to the opposition party, and how they have lesser representation of women. But we'll let you hold on to that. We'll go on a very short break, and when we come back, you answer that for us.
Labour Party, Labour Party, Labour Party, Labour Party, Labour Party, can you get a vote? Labour Party, party, LP. Can you get together for Lebo party, Lebo party. Ever say, Mama, Papa, na one to be Lebo party. Mama, Papa, na one. Ever say, Mama, Papa, na one to be Lebo party. Mama, Papa, na one. Lebo party.
Mr. Peter Obi's administration built from scratch Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University Teaching Hospital with 25 building structures. His government funded transformation of massive infrastructural development, accreditation of 12 health institutions and 2 hospitals, and also built 10 maternal and childcare centers across the state. He is the first governor to purchase medical equipment worth over 130.
Okay, welcome back from that very short break. This is Obidient Family TV, and the show is The Obedient Women. We've been talking with our guests all the way from the UK, London, in person of Mrs. Nello. And before we went on that break, we're asking you a question. We wanted to know how the chance of Mr. Peter Obi winning this election because of the women who are backing him up, and as opposed to the other opposition party who have lesser women representation in not just their campaigns, but in their government, especially this present government. So what are the chances, with women supporting Mr. Peter Obi, that he is actually going to win, coming from...
Obviously, the support from women to help him win. But if you want to talk about maybe if the women have faith that when he gets into power, he's going to include a lot more women in his governance. Obviously, you can see from even the way his campaign is being run, a lot of women, at the forefront of the campaign. We have Aisha, who literally goes everywhere. You can see her, she's an Amazon. I'm talking about Aisha Yusufu. She's speaking to the crowd, she's motivating the crowd. Everyone is going with her energy. You can see even in this our campaign, we can see that there's a special section that is dedicated to women. You have the town hall with the women, where the wives of the running mates, they come, they engage the women, and even Peter Obi as well comes to engage with the women. So you can already see that this is a government that is going to carry the women along. And of course, you know what they say, you train a woman, you train a society. A nation. Yeah, a nation. Thank you. So obviously, again, when you look at even our spokespersons, the women are ably represented there. And again, when we throw it back to, antecedents, we can see Peter Obi when he's reading out the statistics of the number of women that were, involved in his governance. And he will always tell you that he even loves working with women more, because once women believe in a vision, do you understand? Once they catch on to a vision and they believe in something, they go in. And this is why I said before that why women and youth have not really been involved in politics is just because we've never really found a candidate that we think, is worthy of, throwing our whole support behind. We've never had a candidate that aligns with our vision, of a new Nigeria, of the kind of Nigeria that we want for ourselves. So yes, okay.
Okay, that's very apt, because you said something about the way Peter Obi's campaign is being run now, and how we have female spokespeople, representing the brand and everything. And out of 4 spokespeople for Mr. Peter Obi, we have 2 of them being women. And you also mentioned Aisha Yusuf, who is doing an amazing job. She is changing the narrative completely, and she's also helped the way women, also people in general, but women are seeing politics and seeing government. Because before, especially for young women, we used to think that politics is for a certain age grade. We used to think that politics were traditionally what men only men should be involved in. But now, because of, you mentioned also how when he was the governor of Anambra State, he involved a lot of women in his government. And he even said it himself that women are less corrupt, they are more passionate about their work, and they are actually interesting to work with. So that is very true. But there's also something that I'm noticing. It's not just about the Obidient. Yeah, the Obidient movement has a lot to do with it. It's the fact that young people, young women, young men are actually bringing up conversations. They're actually, without you even having to invite them, they go to gatherings and they start up conversations about this campaign. They talk about politics, because it's this campaign that's actually opening their eyes to pay attention to what is happening in government. They are paying attention to past records of these people. Before, we didn't care. We just, oh, this is the person contesting. All right, who is giving us what and what? Okay, this is the person we are voting for. We've not seen it this way before. Women have not seen it this way before. So let's talk about how that narrative has changed. I mean, Peter Obi has not been announced the president of Nigeria yet, and we can see how that dynamic is changing. So let's talk about it. How do you see that, especially from where we are right now? Can you hear us?
Yes, I said I'm trying to get the question exactly. Is it like,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, okay, let me just explain it. We see how young women are constantly bringing up conversations. They are being involved. They are no longer they're no longer taking this as if it doesn't concern them. Yeah. We see how women are participating 100%. And this is because, like you rightly said, we have seen what Peter Obi has done in the past when he was the governor of Anambra State. So now the question is, why do you think that has changed, or what has engineered that change? Apart from the fact that Peter Obi has already shown that, what is it about the Obidient movement that women are really passionate about it?
Again, I think that, first of all, I mean, things are so bad in the country. It's affecting everybody, both men, women, old, everybody's been affected. As a young person in the country, you go to school, you have to spend how many days at home? I mean, how many months at home because of ASU strike, As a mother, right now, you go to the market, you can't even buy enough, to feed your family. So things are really bad. And again, people are beginning to understand that you have to get involved in politics. Politics is not something that you just leave. I hope that, more and more people are beginning to understand. Yeah, involved in electing the people that are going to lead you, because whether you like it or not, they affect every part of your life. They affect, their policies will affect your. Sorry, I keep hearing myself. Okay.
You hear yourself?
Yes. Okay.
Sorry about that. Please continue.
All right. Yeah. So, more, and then again, I think that social media has also gone a long way, because on social media now, people can, engage one another and also open each other's eyes and mind to, the possibilities, the things that you can do if you get involved, in governance. You can see that there's a lot of go get your PVC drive, your PVC, if you come and vote, don't sit down and you don't come out and vote and then you come and complain about governance. So a lot of all those things have worked together to awaken people's consciousness to why they must get involved in governance. And it's not just the presidential. Yes, we're very focused on the presidential now, but I believe that going forward, we're going to start bringing it down to even, your local government chairman, your senators. You have to get involved. Those people must work for the people, because they're actually there to work for you. And again, I also think that again, we have to commend the Electoral Act. It's also giving a lot of people like some confidence in the system, because let's not act like before now we do not know that within exactly when the ones choosing our leaders, they would cause electoral violence, they would snatch the ballot boxes, elections were decided in somebody's living room, but yeah, so with the electoral law, people are having more faith in the electoral systems, and of course we're using the social media to also drive this narrative and ask people to actually come out and vote, like pick up your PVC, come out, vote, stay there, defend your votes, make sure it's counted and everything. And yes, we look forward to in Nigeria where the people would, the politicians will be working for the people, as opposed now, where when they think that they can just do whatever they like and get away with it, as long as, on that day they can just carry the ticker and, manipulate election results and all of that.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Nelo. All right, just a few days ago, a woman leader, the APC, the person of Najatu Muhammad, dumped the campaign, okay? And she pulled out of the APC and of the PCC, the APC's Presidential Campaign Council. And she said that the reason why she pulled out is because she didn't get the feedback she needed from Tinubu after sitting with him and discussing with him about what the plans that he had for the North. And he had virtually nothing. In fact, according to her, he couldn't even maintain a line of conversation, okay?
Yeah.
To tell you the man's state of health, both his mental state and psychological state. But the question I want to ask you right now is this. You've lived in Nigeria for a while, I believe. I don't know how long you've stayed in the United Kingdom, but I believe you've stayed in Nigeria for a while. What is it about Nigerians that makes us loyal to our oppressors? We've seen the gaffes, okay, time and time again. We've seen the gaffes in the Tinubu campaign, and we see how he's always talking out of line. He's always speaking out of line, and even he can't even, if you see his posture, that the man is not physically fit. What is it about Nigerians that makes us loyal to our oppressors, and how can we break this bond?
Okay, loyal to our oppressors. Again, it's the thing is, these politicians, they are masters at manipulating the people, so they would drive this narrative, and again, if we go back to what happened in 2015, how APC was able to kick out, PDP. Of course, the PDP government at that time, they were corrupt and all, so they were able to shape the narrative to say, okay, these guys are corrupt, and then they packaged, Buhari as a reformed Democrat, and an anti-corruption crusader. They were with the use of their online vuvuzelas, they were able to sell this narrative to a lot of Nigerians everywhere, that you see this man is going to come and he's going to, stop corruption. And of course, we know that the level of corruption that was going down in that PDP government, a lot of people actually bought into it. But with time, we could see that, it was, in fact, these guys were never ready for governance. They were much more interested in taking power. And then after they got the power, they didn't know what to do with it. And so, lots of terrible policies that has really, taken the country even worse than we were during the PDP era. But that's not to say that the PDP era was a good era. It wasn't. It was one that was ridden with corruption as well. It's just that somehow we found ourselves in an even worse government. So basically, back to your question, it is, I think I've lost my train of thought, but I think your question is, can you remind me of your question?
Yes, what is it about Nigerians?
Okay, that makes them love their oppressors. Yeah, good. So these politicians, they are very good at manipulating the people. You can even see the ticket that we have right now. We have a Tinubu of the APC that has looked at his ticket and she's like, how can I win this election? And, he's gone for a Muslim ticket, and he's hoping that, he can stoke religious sentiment, if it comes to the north, he will stoke religious sentiment, and then in the southwest, he will stoke ethnic sentiment. So he's hoping to ride on those two, and then instead of us or people, engaging on the issues, like our principal would always say, as Peter would always say, look at these candidates and judge them based on competency, character, and what's the third one again? The traces,
capacity
and capacity. Thank you. We are now looking at not Muslim Christians versus Muslims, or you could see all the bigotry that is being spewed online. But trust me, these things are intentional. They are trying to drive a narrative. They are trying to, have us fighting one another. And now you have someone, instead of concentrating on the fact that Tinubu has never spoken to his manifesto, he's never sat down to tell you exactly what he plans to do for the country. You're not talking about that. Instead, what you keep talking about is they tell you the things that he did when he was in Lagos State. Yeah, so maybe at some point in time, the man did some amazing things in Lagos, but now you are running to be the president of the country. Lagos State is not Nigeria. So come and talk to us about the issues in Nigeria. Tell us, you've written this manifesto. Come and speak to us. Tell us what's in there. Answer the questions. I mean, we've seen Peter Obi answer tough questions. He's constantly speaking to Nigerians, even questions as regards his person. There's a lot of controversy surrounding someone that wants to be the president of the country, but he has not deemed it fit to sit down. There was the bullion ban issue. He hasn't talked about it. There's the question of his identity. He has not deemed it fit to sit down and, address all these things comprehensively. The same goes, with the SPV man, is a lot of controversies around him. I'm talking about Atiku. Atiku, again, is also another person that is also driving a very, very ethnic, campaign. He is there in the north, he's talking bigotry, ethnic bigotry. You can see that, although he's doing this with his guys, but they are really, doing this, sending these messages in the north. So I think that what these guys have successfully done is that they somehow managed to, get Nigerians from, focusing on the issues, and then we start, fighting ourselves, when in actual fact, these politicians, they don't even care about you. They don't care about you and I. They don't even care that you are from their village. I mean, go and ask the people of Katsina how they are doing. Even though the president is from their state, they are being bombed daily. Insecurity is high in their place. The people are crying. They are gnashing their teeth. They are not like people will always say, they don't buy rice cheaper. They don't buy fuel cheaper. It's not like right now that there's fuel scarcity. Maybe the people of Katsina, they have somebody's delivering fuel to their doorstep, or they are buying food cheaper. These are the issues. What are your policies? Come and talk to Nigerians about this, not us, So I think that, again, a lot of education needs to go, and especially grassroots sensitization. We need to let the people understand that this whole ethnic thing is not it. We need to focus on the issues.
Thank you very much. I think you hit the nail on the head. Okay, but that brings me to the next question. All right, so what is the role of women in changing this narrative? Okay, these politicians have succeeded in using ethnicity and religion to divide us. Women are the more sentimental type, the more sentimental sex, okay? And they can get across to the men and their children. What is the role? What can women do to change this narrative and make us see Nigeria as one country and have one purpose and one unity and patriotism? How can women change the narrative around patriotism and make Nigeria and Nigerians more patriotic to their country?
Okay, well, already you're saying that you have more women getting involved in at least in this political season. There are lots. I'm not just the only one. There are lots of women, like me. In fact, there's this lady Rhoda Sanders, in Plateau State. She's doing amazing work there. This woman is literally going into the hinterlands and talking to people. I mean, in Kaduna, we had the woman leader that was murdered recently. You know, she was doing amazing there. So yes, you can see that a lot of women, because again, like I said, the woman in the market, you go to the market, the money in your pocket cannot even buy enough food, you know, to feed your family. You just have to get involved, you know, and yeah, so we are all doing all that we can but again, I think that beyond just the women, a lot of grassroots sensitization has to go down. But then again, once you're able to get the women on your side, you know that they'll carry that matter. If the women can buy into the vision, they will carry that matter on their head, and they will, you know, go everywhere. And you, like Peter Obi will always say, you can't easily buy women over. You can't, although of course there are some women that, you know, they over time, especially you talked about the Najatu woman. Like, I don't rate her because this is someone that has been with the Buhari government for how many years, and she never spoke about the plight of her people. She was never complained. She never said anything. You know, she was part of that government that was murdering her people. The whole Zamfara gold thing that she was exposing, she's not new to it. She's been aware of this. The people of Zamfara have been murdered, and she didn't say anything. So it's just that right now, maybe she's not benefiting. She doesn't see herself benefiting from this Tinubu government, or what she wanted. She's not getting it. Probably got a better deal with, you know, Atiku. So now she's just coming to spew rubbish. But
I think I believe that.
Okay, Nello, Mrs. Nello, you've spoken so well, but then I want to ask something, right? I'm quite curious about the fact that people who are not supporting Peter Obi, like, do you have anything to say to them? Because if anyone that is not supporting Peter Obi is listening to you now, it's enough to drive that person, you know? So what do you have to say to people who are yet to bite this vision?
Okay, when it comes to people that are not supporting Peter Obi, I'll put it down to some few things. One, it has to be either ethnic bigotry or lack of awareness and maybe about the person of, you know, Peter Obi. And I would just like to ask the person to please ignore the bile that they've been fed, because I'm very much aware that, you know, these guys are going into villages and they are feeding people with all sorts of negative narrative about Peter Obi. Take your time out and do your own research on this man. Okay, don't what's that word? Don't fight their war. Don't get roped in their bigotry, because they don't care about you at the end of the day. They'll come and say, they might come and say, oh, he's going to, because again, one thing that I heard, they say, oh, if Peter Obi comes in, he's going to bring in IPOB. I mean, this is someone that has, Peter Obi is, if there's ever a person that, you know, is Nigerian, I would say it's Peter Obi. This man has businesses in Abuja, in Lagos. I mean, in Kano, the Umza rice in Kano, he invested, you know, heavily into that place. And I mean, even some of the things, his philanthropic works, you know, he's helped the people in Katsina. He's literally gone all around the country, you know, helping. So, and even at some point, you had IPOB people even dragging him, you know, for commending the Nigerian army at some point. So these are all lies. These are all things that, you know, they're just trying to stoke that ethnic, you know, and religious sentiment, and, you know, just take us away from the issues. So take your mind off that and just go and do your research on this man. Listen to him speak, and I'm sure you will see that this is someone that has, you know, a vision for a new Nigeria, and that's what matters at the end of the day.
You've made such insightful contributions to this discussion. We cannot thank you enough. And we are thanking you especially for how you eat, sleep, and breathe. It will be.
You can see that.
Passionate about this topic, about the Obidient movement, and about the need for we to choose the right person for the job. And we appreciate that. And we love your contribution so far. Even though you are not in Nigeria at the moment, we are thanking you for all the contributions you are making. Thank you very much from all of us at Obidati Family TV.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you. And our labor will not be in vain.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
All
okay,
right.
So that was from Mrs. Nello. and she's calling from the UK, and we can see that hunger for change. You were the one that mentioned it on a previous show, how women or men, no matter the gender, there is this hunger for change, and if it's not fed, will not quench. This is not when we used to not care about our government or whoever were our leaders. So we see that changing. We've seen it in our different gets. We've seen it in William, we've seen it in Miss Vivian. Now this is Mrs. Nello.
Yeah.
So it's something that is widespread. Everybody is part of this. It's personal for people, and we love that. So Jessica, you wanted to contribute something because we're about to round up.
Yeah, not really though, because there's something Mrs. Nello said, and it's about coming out to vote, right? So I don't think there is any limitations. Like, if you are not a supporter of Peter Obi, I think some people are biased in this whole thing.
Okay,
when it comes to ethnicity and all those things. Like we mentioned one time that this is not a problem. Ethnicity and tribalism is not the real problem. The problem is just that people are not giving themselves to this change that they really want to see. So just take aside the ethnicity, the tribalism and everything, and know the reason why we are sponsoring Peter Obi. Yeah.
True. Pikachu.
Yeah, it's really refreshing to see young women participating in politics and elections in Nigeria. And this just goes to show you how many more people that may be not able to make it to our screen, that are out there supporting the movement. So I just want to commend everyone, every lady out there, every young person out there that is supporting this movement, that you should just continue to do so. And just like Mrs. Nello said at the end of her speech, were you the one that said that we will not give up until success is achieved? And yes, so we're not going to give up. We're going to keep pushing and keep supporting the campaign and keep doing our parts. Okay, keep talking to anybody around you, neighbor to neighbor. And I also hear that the PVC's collection date has been extended. Yes. So please, if you haven't collected your PVCs, just go out there and get it today, right now, today. Don't delay anymore, okay? Because without that, you will not be able to vote. All right, so I think
this is all for today, and it's been an amazing time. But I wanted to bring to the attention of the public, yesterday on Peter Obi's Instagram handle, he posted some call or support line for the movement. So I think it's important that people also have access to him. You know, one thing about Peter Obi is that there's this accessibility. So I'm going to be calling out two of the numbers. You can go to his social media handle on Instagram to check it if you want. So the call line for this is 0922 06 333. Then we have 0922 06 555. And he also says to download the app for the Obidient movement, which is the Structure Media app and the Town Hall app on App Store. Yeah, so with all this, I believe we are putting our own effort to make sure that this election is free and it is fair. And like my colleague also said, go and get your PVC. It has been extended, and we cannot afford to miss this opportunity. That would be all for now. I feel like we should just continue more when next we see. So don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. We are on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on TikTok at Obidati Family TV. And you can also follow us on our own special social media handle at Sharon Chuku and
at Official Pcash.
And you can also follow me, Jessica __ on Instagram.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for joining us. So we'll see you next time. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.